I like it. One of my favorites. I first heard that when I was doing my Swing Time show. I said, man, that's awesome. Light My Fire. That's Woody Herman and his new Thundering Herd. Great piece of jazz. Love that. I love that cover. And I think I remember hearing that as a kid around, but what a great piece of music that is, too. Love that. Woody Herman. For that, Dance With You All Night, Jess Smith and Friends. Ending that set along with more great music coming up. Stay with me. How you doing? Good afternoon. Welcome to the Smooth Afternoon here on GJRB Online. Thank you so much for tuning in. Glad that you could stick with me for the best in smooth jazz music. I love playing this sound. It's great stuff. Coming up next hour, got some really good music. You're going to hear this beautiful piece of music. Absolutely outstanding. It's called Gershwin's Cat. We've been playing for quite some time here on GJRB. It's a pretty piece of music. It's absolutely fabulous. Got some new music from a guy who his name is his name is Davies. He comes out of England. We got a brand new piece of music from him. As a matter of fact, this artist does a really nice cover of Autumn Leaves. So that's coming up next hour. You're going to want to listen to that. It's absolutely incredible. And a lot of really good music in the next hour, so I hope you'll tune in for that. All coming your way here on GJRB Online on the Smooth Afternoon here on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Glad you could be aboard with me. I'm glad to be back on the air. Last week just was not feeling good at all, and had that massive headache, and it's just like, man, everything to screw up broadcast plans, you know? Just absolutely ridiculous. And I think it's just this weather. Sinus screws up my brain. Just no doubt about it. We got a lot of really good music coming up, so I hope you'll stay with me here on GJRB Online for Gershwin's Cat next hour. A lot of really good music coming your way here on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Thanks a lot for tuning in to GJRB Online here on Spreaker, locally in Clinton on KJAZ, Cool Jazz 106.7, Clinton, Iowa. 4 o'clock right now at the top of the hour. GJRB Online, 4 o'clock Central Daylight Time. 3 o'clock Mountain Time. 2 o'clock Pacific. 1 o'clock in Alaska. And, of course, 5 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone. And you're listening to Gary J. with your Smooth Afternoon. And more great jazz coming your way next. From America's Heartland, this is GJRB, Clinton, Iowa. But first, let's take a look at news from the GJRB News Desk. Good afternoon, I'm Gary J. Russin. Hope you're stay with me for some more great smooth jazz right after we take a look at the news break. Coming up this hour, top of the news, of course, comes out of Ohio, where the governor there has decided he's going to do is make... The governor there says that he is going to make it a new congressional map. Members of both parties complained about Ohio's congressional district and has drawn some belief that it puts too much power in the hands of the legislature as a result of lopsided districts which dramatically favor one party over the other. The Ohio's 16 congressional districts, 13 have double-digit percentage advantages in favor of party holding the seat, according to the study by the League of Women's Voters in Ohio. Since the 2012 election, no seat has changed hands from one party to the next. And interesting there. Also in the news, Ivanka Trump then deletes photos of the national security strategy. This story comes out of the Newsweek. The First Daughter's House Advisors, Ivanka Trump, has retweeted that the photo of herself in the World Bank President David Malpass with a cover of the document-filled national security strategy was visible in the image. She subsequently deleted the reported proposed photograph of the document. Trump said on Sunday in a tweet that the photo showing Malpass and in full body cover of the National Security Strategy document on a small table in the foreground. According to a entrepreneur's Wi-Fi. Great catching for my friend, according to that story. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the stock market. Let's see, we're going to do now the Friday closing in the stock market report right now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average did close up a little bit more at 114. The NASDAQ only up 6.35, and the S&P up 10. This is GJRB News.
You hear great jazz on GJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, and smooth afternoon.
If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming.
And programming in other great music formats.
Like blues, urban, including rap. Also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, you get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA. Listen and enjoy.
And let's take a look at what's going on in the statewide news here a little bit. See what's going on just within our state here in Iowa. I pull up an interesting story I had earlier. Let's see. Let me find that. Let's see. Military. Now this ought to be one to be interesting. Another 1.58 million in military. Let's see if that'll come up. Okay, it takes a while for these stories to come up, so sometimes I am doing on my tablet off this news source, and sometimes it doesn't want to come up in time, so I might just cover that in the next half hour. But let's see, we got this story coming up here. I'm going to try to refresh that page. Maybe sometimes it just, it does that. I'm going to pop that back over to that other headline. Okay, here we go. $1.5 billion in military funds to be diverted to the border. Okay, so we'll have that story coming up next hour. And along with that, let's see, why you should never take shoes off in the airplane. Well, yeah, I guess that would be a good logical reason for that. And a whole lot more. We're going to be talking a little bit this hour. I hope you'll listen for me throughout the afternoon. We got some more smooth jazz coming up. We'll talk and play music. And you can come in and join me in the chat room. I'm here live, and usually sometimes we go off for a local break, and then the chat room doesn't work. But that means that you can catch me on the computer. I'll answer there. So just to let you know about that. That's a look at the news update for now. Gary J. Russin, GJRB News. We'll get back to more smooth jazz coming up next.
Recently, the owner of Facebook had to face Congress over personal information on Facebook users. In addition, users were saying that their postings were being deleted. Getting sick and tired of your censorship and your data being used without your permission? Do something about it now. Come to MeWe, the internet social site that values your freedom. No more deleted postings. Make a step to freedom. Sign up today. It's easy. Go to www.mewe.com. That's M-E-W-E. MeWe, the internet's free speech social site.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB.
week's news at the bottom of the hour. Get real news breaks, you're recovered and informed.
You're listening to Smooth Afternoon with Gary Russin on GJRB.
GJRB Online, your independent label, internet station. And I'm Gary J. Russin. Hope you're enjoying this great music. Smooth jazz, smooth afternoon here on GJRB Online. New emerging artist all the time. This guy's a new artist. Has really good stuff. He's a solo jazz guitarist. And does a really nice version of Autumn Leaves. Really neat piece of music. This comes from Nick Davies. He comes out of Bristol in the United Kingdom. Listen to this. Fabulous. In the background right now. Autumn Leaves, new emerging artist on GJRB.
Tree, just like you were meant to be. Though your roots dig deep into the land, they were uprooted by a savage hand. But the ties were forged through centuries, a bond so strong and facing history. You are the land, and the land is you. A solid unity they never can undo. Cherish your leaves, let your branches bear your fruits. All you need to do is protect and feed your roots. The old will die, but the young will learn. The road is long, and it will twist and turn. When you know your destiny, you know where you need to be, and we always will believe it's our right to return. It's our right to return. Black on white, they wrote that vow, but to act on it was not allowed. empty words like a carrot on a stick. Ink is fading as the clock goes on to tick. Dispossession and racial oppression, every psycho form of Zionist aggression was condoned by that very same force, though they say our rights are still endorsed. We don't need your words, they're just empty talk. Why don't you just keep on talking while we walk the walk? The old have died, but the young are strong. We know who we are and where we belong. With a key in our hand, we'll come home to our land. We know we will always stand for our right of return. Why don't you just keep on talking while we walk the walk? The old have died, but the young are strong. We know who we are and where we belong. With the key in our hand, we'll come home to our land. We know we will always stand for our right of return.
Yeah, kind of an oddball tune. Kind of like it though. I don't know why, I just do. We've been playing for a number of years though. It's Dog Jazz, The Right of Return. And before that, a great cover of a old standard called Autumn Leaves by a solo jazz guitar arrangement by Nick Davies of Bristol, England. Great piece of music there. Like that one a lot. That's fabulous. You're going to hear that quite a bit here on GJRB Online. And earlier, you heard music from the start off the hour, Big Backstep by Robert O. D'Agelio, Jazz Friends. And we started to set off with, of course, Dr. Bob's Bebop and Jazz Quartet. And Fantasize. Smooth Afternoon. Glad you could be with me. Gary J. Rustin. Hope you're enjoying the program. And we got a lot of more great smooth jazz coming your way here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker across America. And we'll keep you up to date on what's going on in the news. A news update on the way here. And I want to remind you that coming up next hour, we've got some more emerging artists. We'll be premiering some new ones. And we'll also have our weather on the fives again for Clinton. And I'll take a look at some of the southern weather a few more times. We'll be visiting our friends at the Weather Nation and take a look at that weather coming up around 1:45. And we'll have our sports page update and a lot of really good stuff coming up. So stay with me for the best in smooth jazz on a smooth afternoon. And tomorrow we'll be back on the air at 3 o'clock Central Time for the best of jazz. That's tomorrow afternoon. I got some more Thelonious Monk. Got some classic rarities for you, and they got some really good ones, some of your favorites. And open up the request line tomorrow, so I hope you'll tune in for that. Dig up some classics and some new jazz fusion, some of the stuff from our playlist. So tune in tomorrow live, 3 o'clock Central, right here. It's 3 o'clock Central Daylight, 4 o'clock Eastern, and 2 o'clock Mountain and 1 o'clock Pacific right here on GJRB. Got some more great music for you here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker on the smooth afternoon. And glad you could be with me today for really good music on our Smooth Afternoon program. I was glad to bring you some really good stuff here. Right now, though, let's take a look at what's coming up in the news from our GTRB News Desk. Covering some of the news stories this afternoon, the governor of New York wants to make a new congressional map, saying that they want to change things a little bit. In the congressional, we'll talk about that. Also, a $5.8 billion going out. Let's see, that story I was talking about last hour. $5.8 billion. Let's see if that's going to come up. I have to wait for it. Blah, blah. I got a slow tablet. There's nothing I can do about it. But anyway, $5.8 billion fund going to be diverted to the border, according to top Democrats. We'll have that story coming up, plus the latest news and a wrap-up of all the news coming up in our 50-minute music hour. Gary J. Russell with you. Coming up, more smooth jazz, all coming up next. I'm Gary J. Russell, GTRB News, with this half-hour update.
Seems today no broadcast can survive with just audio alone. GJRB on Spreaker will always be there, but now GJRB has gone visual with the GJRB YouTube channel. Subscribe today and see live streaming of the Gary Russell program, Way Out There, Sports Page, and radio and television classics. Also, many other specials along the way too, including a video version of News and Comment and a video message from Pastor Ron Johnston from Christian Community Fellowship Church. Yes, GJRB is now visual. Subscribe to the GJRB YouTube channel. It's free. Just log on to YouTube and type in Gary Russell in the search engine. Coming soon. Watch or listen to GJRB on the new GJRB website, GJRB TV, on YouTube, on your computer, on your TV. Subscribe today. There's a problem on our roads today, and that is the safety of our children boarding and getting off the bus on busy roads. That problem is drivers who don't stop at a school bus when the arm is out, the lights are flashing, and the stop sign is out, leaving kids in danger of getting hit. That problem is also people who are so much in a hurry to get to work or too busy on their phones to pay attention to what's going on outside their windshield. As a result, someone hits a child getting off the bus. If you pass a school bus with its lights flashing, its arms out, and stop sign flashing, you have committed a stop arm violation. This is the law. Violators could cost you a suspension